I'm Jasmine.
I'm Juan.
I'm Devin.
All right. So, did you guys get a chance to finish the book yet, or where are you guys at?
No, I'm not done yet.
I'm not quite.
Not quite.
No, are you? I'm guessing you're finished with it.
I finished.
Then, yeah, I didn't actually have much time to read much of the book this week. I had back-to-back exams. So
I
I'm
just
only on page 159.
sat down. I think last Sunday, and I finished the whole thing. I was like, I'm gonna get this over with. But I liked it. It was good.
Yeah, some parts of here were kind of very interesting.
Yeah.
I did not expect what I read. I didn't expect whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of crazy. Every one of the Lacks has an interesting story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like Joe going killing a guy to
Mhm.
uh then you had Deborah had to fight off her uncle. What was it, uncle, I think? Or
Yeah. I think it was her uncle or one of her cousins.
yeah. It's just
Yeah. They
every one of
all
them
definitely.
is hard to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they all had
wonder,
their own personal disturbing experience, I guess you could say.
mhm. I wonder how much of that would have happened if Henrietta was still alive, you know? How their lives would have been different if she would have still been alive.
I
Yeah,
thought about that. I definitely would think it would be different because she's
it would
definitely
be ridiculously different.
I think so too. I don't think Joe would have been I don't think he would have killed that guy because I think the main reason he had all those anger issues was because Ethel was beating him
Yeah,
like
she was really abusive
childhood.
towards all the other kids,
Hmm.
not just Joe. But again, if she was let's say she would have not died and everything. I feel like her kids' lives might have been different, but I feel like everyone else is talking about the world wise, everything would be completely different. We wouldn't have many of the things we have now in our medical institutes.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's kind of a weird
Yeah.
thing to think about because if she was never diagnosed with any of this disease, we would have never known about the HeLa cells and all of that.
Yeah. So what were some parts you guys thought were the most interesting? I'm trying to be where you guys are, so I don't spoil anything.
Um, well, I mean, we can go back because we kind of talked last time to about page 77, I think, what we agreed on. Let me go back to my annotations and look.
Did you guys read about the how a lot of the cells got contaminated?
yeah.
That
Yeah,
that was crazy to me. I feel like they just should have been more organized with their work, so
sterile about it, I think.
yeah. But it just they wasted so much time and money
It was on a
after all that.
decade in
Yeah,
millions of dollars.
yeah, that's crazy.
But it's also crazy that some of the people didn't believe that guy.
Yeah, they were yeah, right.
What's the work with these cells that could be contaminated?
Right.
Yeah, I actually kind of had a question. Would you guys if you were prompted, would you guys give your tissue to someone or a scientist or doctors for research?
Um, I think I would honestly.
I might. I think I would be more open to doing blood donations and stuff. So I know it's helping people and not just for, you know, like
Yeah,
I don't know. I probably would.
I think I would as well because I mean, if we don't try new things, I mean, we won't discover new things. So that like requires people to like be more like driven to like giving them. But I mean, obviously with consent, like it's not like how the case with Henrietta where they just took them without any consent, and that's a completely different story. But yeah, I think I would.
Would you, Devin?
I have actually.
Huh?
Well, that makes me think because I gave my blood before.
Yeah.
So I went to the VA hospital one day looking for something, and some random lady was like, "Hey, would you like to donate your blood for science?" And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Tell me about it." And then I
Mm-hmm.
was all for it. But it makes me think, like, in the future, if something came about, like for my blood,
Right.
like, what would be the events that could happen? You know,
Right. Yeah.
how would they handle it? Would they handle it better than they have in the past? Would
I
I
hope
ever
so.
know? And that's the thing. Would I ever even know if
Yeah.
something
Right.
like some?
I mean, if it was similar to like the HeLa cells where they would be able to like reproduce, I mean, probably, I don't know. You might and you might not, I guess. But I feel like since times have changed, I feel like doctors would probably want to get more samples, so that would like prompt them to like tell you about it and how like, oh, hey, I think you have a certain type of, something, and I think it would help towards this other thing, and but
I'm not sure what part in the book it was, but there's at the time that the book was published, like if you give like your tissues or something for like research for scientific research, like they say that like the tissue no longer becomes like yours, like you have no possession over it, like it's totally the doctor's now. So like even if like there was some crazy like HeLa cells type thing, like you would still get no compensation for it because like you're giving up.
yeah, you're
And I
giving,
thought that was interesting too.
yeah, which I
I do
mean,
remember I did sign like a waiver, like
Yeah.
basically waiving my rights for
Hmm.
anything that would come about from that. But it just makes me think, though.
Yeah, like I get it, like, but it's still interesting. Like you would really never know, I guess, that like if your cells or blood or whatever is helping like a ton of people.
For sure.
yeah, I don't know. It's weird to like think about because I feel like our whole medical like advances are just so much different. Which
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like it's harder to find newer things these days because I feel like our technology has just kind of advanced to the point where we're just kind of hit a pit stop, but like at the same time we haven't like really fulfilled all of it, I guess you could say, because like with all this COVID stuff, like this is like a whole new different thing,
Mhm.
and like everyone has to adapt to it, and then so I guess I just contradicted myself with that, but yeah.
I liked seeing like Rebecca's interactions with each of Henrietta's kids, and like
Yeah,
how like she definitely had like much different relationships with each one of them. I thought
yeah,
that was kind of cool, and I liked how close she ended up getting with Deborah. Like I feel like Deborah kind of needed that, like someone to talk to about her mom.
Yeah, Deborah definitely seemed like almost became like the driver for a minute,
Mhm.
like pushing it because she wanted to know so much about her mother that it kind of like pushed her to ask more questions and get over her distrust, even though she did have a lot of distrust,
Mhm.
you know, the
yeah.
entire
I heard
time.
like Deborah's stories was actually kind of crazy. Like when I got to that part, I was like, what? She
I
was
was
like,
wondering. Oh, sorry.
she was like what, 11 years old when they were talking about like all that stuff that happened to her, where she
Mhm.
was being like abused and all that by her cousin, like of all people, which is kind of,
And then her husband actually started abusing her. Like that was crazy to me too. She like almost killed him, and then she was like, "Nah, I'll just leave instead." Like I feel like that was a very good decision on her part.
yeah.
Mhm.
But like still can't believe that. Like, what was it? Was it her uncle or was it her cousin? I don't remember.
I think it was her cousin. I think it was Galen
Yeah,
was his name.
that was his name, Galen, I believe. But
I
I
think
don't
I
remember his
saw it.
cousin. But like how he like basically tried to like rape her when she was super young. Like what? She was like 10 or 11.
Yeah, like he was like
I mean, he was like touching her inappropriately
Yeah.
at such a very young age.
Yeah, and then like offering her gifts and stuff like that.
Yeah, just like
Forget about it.
And how Day didn't believe her.
yeah, I feel like they just
literally see it happen and be like, just let it happen. I was like, what the?
yeah, I don't know. I feel like they just after Henrietta passed, I feel like he just kind of didn't care, and he just like his
I
world
feel
around.
like even when Henrietta was alive, though, like he just never really, I don't know, like, because it said from the beginning, like he was still like sleeping with other people, like, like I don't know how, like, I know like he supported his family, but like I don't know how like much he like wanted that family.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that one instance when I think Deborah was walking home with I forgot his name. It was like a neighbor or something, Cheetah or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Galen like grabbed Day and like drove up to Deborah, telling her to like hey, you must get in, like your dad's here, and he like straight up just punched her in the face and like gave her like a cut above her eyebrow or something like that, and just shed blood everywhere, and then she ran to what's her name?
Babette.
Yeah, she ran to Bobette and all that. And Day was there and saw everything, and he was just kind of like
Whatever.
nothing ever even happened.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, seeing that he's like her father. I feel like he'd be more defensive over her, but
Right. I feel like Deborah might have like some sort of maybe bipolar. Like just like I understand like she was like not trustworthy, but like the level of like this within the same day she would call Rebecca like 3 times and like change her mind. Like I just feel like maybe there was something there. But like I feel like a lot of their
whatever.
what?
It definitely said in the book that she had like high levels of depression and anxiety and strokes because of stress.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that goes along with like the trauma of just the entire thing. Like the rest of the Lacks had there's a lot of trauma in the whole story.
Yeah, but I also found it interesting that like many of the Lacks, like Henrietta's children, were like when they were attending school, they wouldn't be able to like hear, so they were like deaf, but they never really spoke up about it.
Yeah.
Which I found really interesting because like, why are you gonna go to school if you're not learning anything? But at the same time, that's how they were like raised to like not. I don't know.
One thing I think is when it comes to like a generational thing is like at that time they were taught like never to really question stuff.
Yeah, question the adults and stuff like that.
Yeah, like nowadays we question everything.
Yeah, they were like scared to like approach the adults and tell them like, "Hey, I can't hear you" and all that. But now, like, so different.
Yeah.
We challenge like every little aspect towards like an adult or like in an argument with an adult. We just like tell them straight up.
I think it also goes with those times because even then, like so many things was like you didn't speak about certain things, like certain things you just didn't talk about. You didn't talk about people, you didn't talk about health and even finances, money. Like it was all like don't speak until I'm spoken to, don't question authority. But I just wonder if it was different, like if people started to question things at some point, would the chain of events have been different?
Yeah.
You know.
I was gonna say something but I forgot. Hold on. I can't remember. Oh, I was happy that Babette kind of like took Deborah under her wing, like taught her about like stuff like that. Like if you can't hear, sit in the front of the class. Like don't let your cousins touch you because like that's not how you're supposed to do. Like you're not supposed to be with your cousins, like she like taught her so much stuff that like a mom should teach, their kids. And like Ethel certainly wasn't doing that. So like I'm glad she finally had someone step in and like help her out because like for so much of her life, like she didn't have a mom. She was getting like molested. Like I'm just happy like she finally had someone like standing in her corner.
Yeah.
Strong role model.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bet like even forced her, even after she got pregnant and had the baby.
Yeah. She was
to
like, you have to go back to school.
Yeah, go back to school and get your education.
Yep. I thought that was important. I feel like this book took me on like a emotional roller coaster. Like
Yeah, it's
there was like funny parts like where they would just be conversing, and then like there would be parts where I like literally was crying reading it. I was like, I didn't expect to be like this interested in this book when I like first picked it.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way. There's times I felt angry. I'm like, I want to go out, makes me like up a little bit.
Yeah, this book definitely makes you like emotional.
Yeah. A lot of my annotations were like me just being angry. Like, what the heck? Like, what is this?
I wonder if I need to change some of my annotations because I did like say F, what the F, Like,
No, I definitely said WTF multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, this book, I thought it wasn't gonna be like a hard read like how it is. Like, there's some like I don't know some topics that I didn't think would be in this book at all. But I don't know.
Definitely
I
went
guess
through
it just like opens up your eyes, I guess, of like the little things that you just don't know,
Yeah.
like that happen or could happen.
Or like I feel like it taught us like how much I guess we take our medical system today like for granted. Like I couldn't imagine like having like a system where like people could just take your stuff and not tell you,
Yeah.
like and nothing would get done about it, like because people knew but like nobody did anything about it.
Yeah, I feel like doctors back then too, just like sometimes they didn't even know what the heck they were doing, and then they were doctors, and they'd have to rely on other doctors to ask them about like their own patients. But now, I mean, it's like one small little test can like tell you what's wrong with you.
Yeah, and like some of the doctors that were doing this like crazy stuff that I was so irritated about was like the director of the Red Cross. Like, how can you possibly have that high of a position and like not know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Incompetence. Well, this is that guy that was injecting the HeLa cells into patients without them knowing.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, that just seems crazy.
Yeah,
You're gonna inject
really
cancer
crazy
into somebody without them knowing, even though they already had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
It's still,
Yeah, that's bizarre.
And like I just feel like they targeted like the most incompetent like people to do research on. Like they went to the jail or whatever, the prison, and like they half explained but like half didn't, and then like these people would end up with like tumors on their arms after getting her cells injected. And like I'm pretty sure they did not think that they were going to wind up with cancer. Like, like what kind of person would be like, sure, give me some cancer? Like,
Yeah, they just didn't ask back then. Like, if you wanted stuff done to you, like for instance, this when like Henrietta went to the hospital for the first time, they didn't tell her like her option, like when she got her treatment, that she wouldn't be able to like have children anymore,
right.
Because if she would have known that, she would not have gotten the treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Same with like the patient you were talking about, that they just injected her HeLa cells, like they just didn't care really.
Mm-hmm. Or with when they like said he didn't want to do an autopsy.
Yeah,
And they were like, well, let's just do like a half autopsy.
yeah,
He still wasn't really comfortable with it, but like, back in that day, again, you couldn't question, especially doctors. So like, I don't know. It was just really messed up.
yeah.
You know what's even crazy is like I was reading in there about they had more rules about handling animals than they did humans.
Mm-hmm.
That part, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Like
that's
he
really
goes into
crazy.
the was it the with the Nazis and stuff where
Mm-hmm.
all the experiments with Jews and stuff like that, and like we
Yeah.
still didn't like did that mindset didn't transfer over to the U.S. Like we're kind of doing the same thing in some ways.
Right.
Like, well, we're not them.
Right.
That was like the attitude. Like we're not them. We're
But
the
like
U.S.
they're doing the same
We're
kind of things.
It may not have been as bad, but it was still bad.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. I would like read like the section that I said I was gonna read, and then I would go out and I would like be irritated like it was happening to like my family, and I would like vent to my boyfriend and be like, I can't believe they did this to them, and like I just got like so into it, like, but I feel like more people should like I think it said there was a movie that was made about this. I feel like some people should at least like watch the movie or read the book or learn about it, because like I just think it's crazy so many people still don't know.
Yeah, and I feel it's like a really big, important part of our medical
Like I
stuff.
wonder if this is being taught in like general education in high school. I feel like that this type of thing is kind of at that level. It should be known
Yeah,
that
it had like a really big impact on not only like our lives, but just everyone else, like in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Because like with her cells, researchers would like they began identifying like those chromosomal diseases,
Mm-hmm.
like Down syndrome and all that, you know.
Yeah.
There's like isn't that how they found out that about the contamination?
Yeah, I think
There's
so.
like they found the marker, the
Yeah.
genetic marker in the DNA.
Well, I didn't realize that it wasn't widely known at first that she was Black. Like nobody said anything, I guess, until that same conference when he was like, well, this must have came from an African American woman because of the DNA markers. And I guess I just thought that was known, but like I guess it wasn't until that conference when he said that.
Yeah, because I mean they wanted to keep everything under wraps because they didn't want like the patient to be like discovered. That's why I feel like they like misled that one magazine article.
Oh,
The wrong name.
Yeah, to Helen Lane.
Yeah, which I thought was like, why?
Well, I guess I guess I get the name change just because like privacy, I guess, but I don't understand like I guess I don't see the race as like a privacy issue just because like there's more than like there's a lot of like African American people, so like like
Yeah,
it's not as identifying to be known that it's from an African American. Did you guys get to that part when he was like when George Gay was irritated with everyone for like because he didn't have an original like cell vial? I was
yeah,
like, that's kind of your own fault.
yeah, he was like the one that was giving them all away.
He was giving them all away. Like he could have kept one. Like,
He was also irritated that he didn't have like any control over it because
mhm.
he's giving it to like the general public now. Which I was like,
Yeah, he seemed
how
kind
do
of
you
like
expect to
arrogant
control
about it.
something that you've given away? Like what? It's not yours anymore.
Yeah.
He seemed like
Like,
frustrated at how other people were doing experiments
mhm.
Yeah,
that like just massively sent him out.
Right. Like if you
Yeah,
didn't want
well,
to,
like they made a entire plant of making these cells.
mhm.
yeah.
Like,
And then
You
at one point,
probably-
didn't he like go to another like scientist or something to like tell them to like kind of like slow down on the testing?
Mhm.
Or yeah, which is like
Yeah.
what?
But he literally
would-
would travel worldwide to hand deliver these cells to these people, and then has the audacity to like, yo, you can't do this anymore because I don't want you to. Like, please. He irritated me a lot.
Yeah, he was a dodgy guy for sure.
It just makes me think of like, I guess it's just my paranoia of like today, since there's so many things like, are there is stuff like this still going on to some level?
Hmm.
I mean, probably in the world, but like in the U.S. is stuff like this happening.
Yeah,
But how would we know? Since
right.
it would have to be like really super secret.
Hmm. I definitely
There
understand
are some
why.
cases that are like under wraps, but I'm sure like they're not as prevalent as they were back then.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I definitely like before reading this, like I didn't really always understand why people were so wary about like listening to doctors' advice, you know. But like after reading this, like I can definitely see like if something like this happened to like me or like my family, like I definitely would be like wary against like, you know, doctors. Like I can understand it more now. Like I understand like things have changed, but like I also like understand the
Yeah.
weirdness. Mhm. Mm.
What else was
I just found it interesting also like how many things they did with her cells. Like took her cells to space, like put them in a bomb, like all these crazy things that I was like, why would
Yeah,
you need to do that? But like I guess.
for science.
I guess.
But like also look at
Especially-
like cells, like when she died, like her family knew about that, but like her family had no idea that her cells were still like alive and being distributed around the world,
Mhm.
which was like really interesting.
Yeah.
Then they would later find out, obviously, but
I found it interesting how like nobody would even like answer me like before this author Rebecca. No one really like answered their questions.
They would
That's some
always
pretty
like
basic
dodge
questions.
them.
Even, like at least sit there and explain to them like what actually is going on. Like try to explain the science to them. Like no one actually sat there and tried.
Did you guys get to the part when they came back for, I guess they were asking for like blood or something of her children?
Yeah, it was like
And like
was
the
mix up.
way, huh?
There's like a mix up or something.
Yeah, like the way that the lady spoke on the phone today, like she basically made it seem like they wanted to test their blood for if they had the same cancer like Henrietta had. But like
yeah,
that
Oh,
wasn't even what,
understanding that they were getting screened for cancer, but it was actually
yeah, but like they were taking like their blood to like test their DNA for the for like furthering their investigations or whatever.
yeah,
I just thought that was crazy. Like you really can't just like sit and like take like 5 minutes and try to explain. Like Deborah was calling like every day to Johns Hopkins, like, where are my cancer results? And they're like, what are you talking about? Like they could have at least like tried to explain it instead of like saying something that didn't even wasn't even true, you know?
yeah.
Mm.
yeah. I'd like to find that movie, see where it's on. I know
Yeah.
it was Oprah, I think.
Mhm.
made the movie. I think she stars in it too.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Hold on. I think it says it on the front of my. It says now an HBO film starring Oprah Winfrey and Rose something. Yeah. So I guess I would like to watch that too.
Oh yeah. I
Maybe.
mean, after reading the book, I definitely like has my attention. I'm definitely gonna like watch it
Mm-hmm.
and see
They
how.
were talking. Sorry.
Like, I wonder if they're gonna like talk, or they're obviously gonna talk like a lot about her like life. But reading the book to the movie, I kind of want to like compare the two and see if
Mm-hmm.
they leave anything out, or if the book left something out, which I don't think. Because they're probably basing the movie off the book, but.
Yeah. But like depending on when the movie came out, it could also have like more information. Like
Yeah.
if it came out after.
Yeah, I think when I read about the movie, it came out like 2017,
Yeah.
I think, which I never knew it existed. That's
Right.
Yeah, I mean, let alone Henrietta, I never knew she existed, like, or anything was known about her to me,
Mm-hmm.
like the impact she had. It's just actually bizarre. Like, how do we not know more about this person?
Right.
especially the movie. Like, especially these days, like everyone watches movies,
Mm-hmm.
and like I never heard about it. I didn't know Oprah had a movie that she directed or starred in like that. I had no idea.
I wonder if it's more of like a documentary type thing, which might be why like it's lesser known, or if it's like an actual like movie where like they act as the people.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be definitely an interesting watch.
Yeah, I agree. There was like a film in like I think the 90s, an English film that I wanted to see if like I could find on YouTube. And that was like about this story, but like back in like the 90s or something. So like I feel like that would be an interesting thing to
Oh,
watch.
is that the one where Rebecca went to like that little shop and watched?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would, yeah.
Um, So, do you guys think, I won't spoil it for you, but like, do you guys think that like their family's gonna end up getting any like money out of it, or do you think it's just gonna be like they don't get anything from it?
I don't think they're getting anything from it. I mean,
Yeah,
I know there's like a foundation for them.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know how
like,
far that goes.
yeah,
Like the entire time, like all they really wanted, like the consistent theme I heard from is like they just wanted some basic insurance, like to cover
right.
yeah,
basic stuff.
They
It's like you
couldn't pay
can't.
for like their like Deborah like had to stop taking her medicine because like she couldn't afford it every month because she didn't have insurance. And like that was just so like sad to me. Like she could at least get insurance.
yeah. I feel like it should be like reimbursed somehow, but I don't know. I guess like, well, I don't know, because she never really like gave permission for them to like get an autopsy of her, but at the same time, I don't know.
I'd say at least at minimum because it seems like all the Lacks had some kind of medical
Mhm.
issue. Like, let's give them some insurance.
Right.
At least.
Right. Like her mom made a pretty significant impact on the medical community. You could at least get them some insurance.
Yeah,
Um,
You guys have anything
you
else? I can't.
know, do you know when we started this? I was trying to see if I could like see, but I can't.
I think we started at like 8:31 ish or something like that.
Okay. Well, do you guys have any other additional comments or thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered most of what I've basically read, but I'm still not quite done with the book. Hopefully get done with it this coming week. Because this is our last meeting that we really technically have to do, right?
Right.
Or is there one more?
No, I think this is the last one. It was just 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the essays due next week.
I think it's next Thursday or next Friday. But yeah.
And then we
And
still
then our
have
communications are the ones that are due Tuesday, right?
The what?
Yeah.
The
The
annotation?
annotation video thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna stop recording.